Bill Maher absolutely destroyed MAGA Congressman Dan Crenshaw on his show yesterday. Now, listen, I've had my disagreements with Bill Maher in the past. He was very critical of President Biden. I'm a big supporter of President Biden. However, he does have this amazing ability to just put these Republicans in their place and often silence them on live TV, and this example was no different. So I have a couple of clips to play for you from his show. We'll talk about them a little bit, but the first clip I want to play for you is Dan Crenshaw trying to claim that Republicans are more productive and more moderate than Democrats, and that Kamala Harris is, quote, a chameleon, kind of switching up her views when it comes to policy. And it did not go well for him. Take a look.
In every single case, the Trump administration is more moderate and more in line with what more people want in America, and the outcomes are just better.
Well, yes.
I'm not. Vladimir Putin, okay, he's moderate. He wants to pull out of NATO. That's really moderate. Project 2025, that's really moderate. I mean,
Okay,
we can go. The truth of the matter is, in 2019, she listened to the identity left, and that always ends up a disaster. And she's evolved, to say the least. And she'll be asked about it, and I think she'll have.
Okay, so she's either a far leftist or a chameleon liar. I don't know.
You know,
Well,
sometimes.
no, wait a second.
People,
Everybody tacks
Right.
to the middle. Everybody, as Mitt Romney said, shakes the Etch-a-Sketch. Right. And by the way, it's a little odd, isn't it, that the Republicans had no former presidents, vice presidents. There was no Mitt Romney there, no Bush, no Dick Cheney. It's a little like Tom Cruise with his daughter. You know, I don't know you anymore. I mean,
I'm sure I understand that reference.
what?
I don't know if I know that reference.
Well, I mean, Tom Cruise never sees his daughter because she's a suppressed person because, you know, whatever, she doesn't believe in Scientology. And I feel like I've never seen a convention where the party just disowned its complete past like that.
Yeah, well, again, doesn't really matter. Do we put on the best show? I don't know. I know we have better policies that have better outcomes.
It's an indication that you have made a clean cut with what republicanism was up until Trump.
Yeah, so that didn't go well for Dan Crenshaw at all. And of course, James Carville is there as well, former advisor for Bill Clinton. But look, you know, Bill Maher is absolutely right. Dan Crenshaw is trying to claim that Kamala Harris is either a leftist or a political chameleon and just changes her views whenever she wants. And it's like, no, it's none of that. No, not at all. It's really weird to me how Republicans constantly attack Democrats who don't have the exact same views now as they did when they first entered politics. Like, this has been a criticism lobbed at Joe Biden, that during his presidency, he implemented different policy than the ones he was advocating for in like 1970 when he first became a senator, 1980. And it's like, yeah, that's probably a good thing. That's probably a good thing. Real leaders will take new information and new facts and apply that to their views, apply that to their leadership style, because they're okay with being proven wrong. Real leaders are okay with being proven wrong as long as they can change course and be better. That's what real leaders do. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans, they don't do that. So all of these MAGA Republicans have been presented with evidence time and time again that they should be pro-choice, that we should fund education, not defund education, that climate change is real, that the election wasn't stolen. And they're like, no, I don't believe it. I don't care about new information. I'm going to have the exact same views then as I do now. Really weird stuff. Evolving is good. But also, the second point that Bill Maher made was really strong as well. Like, you know, just watch the DNC. I was just at the DNC, so I can speak on this. Look at the DNC, look at the RNC. At the DNC, we had former presidential candidates, former administration officials, presidents, vice presidents, all that stuff. You know, Obama, Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, all these different people spoke at the convention because the Democratic Party is united. It's united. We are united behind Kamala Harris. We love Joe Biden. And of course, we're united behind Governor Tim Walz. At the Republican convention, there was no former presidents. There was no former, except Donald Trump. There's no former presidents, no former vice presidents. Mike Pence wasn't there. Dick Cheney wasn't there. Liz Cheney wasn't there. Nobody. And it just shows you how extreme the Republican Party is. And Dan Crenshaw wants to pretend that that's not the case, that, oh, these people are just rhinos, that, you know, they don't love our party. It's like, my God, they serve the party in these very high-ranking government positions. Are you kidding me? So ridiculous. Anyway, he was silent. He had nothing good to say, of course, as per usual. But the next clip I want to play for you is Dan Crenshaw trying to make the point or a point, I should say, on immigration. And of course, that too does not go well. So take a look.
I love migrant people. I'm just going to tell you that right now. If you in this
Okay.
country and you come in, you work
long as
hard,
they're not
that's
feminine.
great.
But I mean, you yourself,
I'm not any kind of criminal.
you yourself was on this page. I mean, they had the bill. That guy who wrote it, Langford,
Yeah.
he's a conservative Republican.
Yeah.
You yourself spoke on this. Trump killed that bill because he didn't want the issue to work against him in the election. That's your boyfriend. How you get? Whoa. Well, I mean, you got to defend that. Well,
First, I have to tell you what I actually said about it. Like, so what I said about that bill before it even got released was, hey, let's read it. And anybody who has an opinion on it without reading it, it's kind of stupid. That's what I said, and I stand by that. What happened with that bill is a lot more complicated. You had a very complex bill written in a dark room. They come out. You've got this immigration law is very complicated, and everyone turned their guns on it. And
that's a
fired it
revision
down.
of what you said.
No,
You said it was a good bill,
said.
and you have a lot of grifters in your party who didn't want it passed. Yeah, you did.
We can fact check this. I never got a chance to have an opinion on it. That's the problem, and I stand by that. That's
Somehow
the
I
problem.
read it.
Well,
Somehow I read
telling
your
you, trust me.
opinion on it.
Trust me. What I said was, it's foolish. I'll tell you exactly what I said. It was the height of stupidity to have an opinion on something you haven't read yet.
Yet again, Dan Crenshaw goes silent. Absolutely. I mean, really, he's trying to, first of all, the MAGA Republicans, including Dan Crenshaw, have tried to argue that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and all these Democrats are in favor of open borders, that they haven't tried to do anything on immigration. And Bill Maher, of course, is like, well, hold on now. The Democrats, along with an extremely conservative Republican senator, James Langford, wrote this immigration bill together. It is a bipartisan bill. It is one of the strongest, strictest immigration bills that we've seen in a very long time. Ones that both parties worked on, and the Republicans voted against it. They cry about the border over here, and then when action's taking place over here, they say, whoa, we didn't really mean it. We don't actually want the issue to be solved. We want it to be a political issue. It's what they've done. And Dan Crenshaw said, oh, no, the bill is so complex. Like, you got to read it first before we can vote. And, nobody could read it. It was so complex. And Bill Maher, well, I read it. Well, he read it. We all read it. You can go read the bill right now. You can go read the bill right now and see how it is a strong bill. It is very strict. But of course, the Republicans don't actually care about solving the issue. They don't want the issue to be solved until their guy wins. So if Donald Trump, if he were to win and he got sworn in on January 20th, 2025, they would say the border's great. Oh no, it's so great. Let's get to work on the border. Let's try to legislate. But because Joe Biden is president, because Kamala Harris is running to be the next president, they don't want to work with them. And it's such a shame because we should be electing people who care about the issues and will put the politics aside and vote on a bill or write a bill, whether it helps them politically or not. The main goal should be that it helps the United States of America. But that's not the view of the Republican Party right now. You have people like Dan Crenshaw trying to filibuster their way out of this, do these mental gymnastics to try to justify constantly talking about immigration while simultaneously voting against immigration reform. It's so insane. And, when they try to have this hypocrisy, when they have an interviewer who is not just a Republican operative like Bill Maher, then it goes very poorly for them. As we just saw with Dan Crenshaw right there, right now. An amazing moment by Bill Maher. And once again, MAGA Republicans are getting destroyed. Who could have seen this coming? I mean, Anyway, I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Also, drop a like on the video and comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.